Hello and welcome. I'm Sarah, and this is my first YouTube video. Today we're going to be working on this 3 by 3 foot canvas. I already have a painting going. My painting style is combining my exterior environment with my internal emotional environment. So this piece I'd already been thinking about our property. I live on about an acre and a half property. Yeah. And we have a pond and a barn behind us. So you can kind of see that I was thinking about it with that black structure in the background and the big white mass in the middle. But I wasn't happy. Well, I wouldn't say unhappy. It just needs another layer. So today we're going to go in and simplify what I've already got going on and add more of those gestural, emotional elements. And we'll see what we get. I'm using a mixture of Liquitex basic acrylic paints and the heavy body paints. And I've been working with a limited color palette lately of just phthalo blue, cadmium yellow, and quinacridone magenta, and white. I like to listen to music while I'm painting, so you'll see me dancing and singing. I would have left the original audio, but we don't need to hear me sing, so. I was finding it a little bit difficult to start painting today because I felt the pressure of the camera behind me. It was the first time filming myself and knowing that it's going to be going on the internet in this way. So there was a lot of pressure, but at the same time, the whole reason that I'm making these YouTube videos is to take the financial pressure off of painting. Painting is supposed to be, for me, it's supposed to be authentic and expressive and escape. And by putting pressure on myself to make a good painting every time or something that's going to sell, it's just not a good idea. It doesn't work for me. And I love the idea that people are making a living these days on YouTube by just showing up and being themselves. So if I can just show up every day to the canvas, or as much as I feel is good for me, every other day, I paint most days, but to show up to the canvas without any pressure and be able to paint and film it for all of you to watch, then I could have some sort of financial success or just success in general from just being myself and showing up. So that's my dream. That's what I want, and I'm gonna keep making these videos for you. I'm just using a palette knife here. That blue thing is a kitchen spatula, one of those baking spatulas. I've been collecting things over the years to use, and that spatula probably gets used almost every time. And the palette knife just gives a nice a solid paint application, but also with nice edges. Edges are kind of broken and give you some interest. I'm just going in and quieting down this painting. I felt like there was just too much going on, so I want to quiet it down with some big areas of color. And if you're someone who just started painting and you're trying to figure out what your style is, you should really pay attention to how you make a painting and see if you can make it into some sort of formula, and that will be your style. Lately, my style has been painting big areas of color and then drawing with the paintbrush and then adding pattern. So whenever you get stuck, you can go back to one of those elements and think about, have I done that part yet? And what have I done a lot of that maybe I need to balance out with some of these other elements that I like to use. So right now we're just on the color blocking stage. I'm just using that phthalo blue and cadmium yellow and some white. And a big house painting paintbrush. And sometimes it's fun just to mix the color right on the canvas. And that's what I'm doing here. And adding lots of water. Get some drips. I'm just checking to make sure that I didn't get that on the carpet. Jeez, sometimes it happens. Having that big area at the top is giving it more of a landscapey feel. And it's already starting to feel a lot quieter. Getting rid of that red. I really didn't like that red. You can see all the interesting texture and marks that that palette knife makes. I'm trying to be as loose and as free as I can because this is supposed to be fun. I'm taking a step back to see what the painting is looking like from a distance and figuring out what I want to do next. Here's that drawing with the paint that I talked about earlier. So I've done the blocks of color, and now I'm going to draw with the paintbrush. And again, just trying to be loose and free and making interesting marks. Getting some of my frustration out. This is an old oil painting brush. I don't know why I have those. I think I've only painted with oil once when I was maybe like 15. So I did a dark color, and now I'm gonna do a light color. You see the cool texture that you get with that brush too. It's all about making interesting marks and different marks. The more variety you have, the more interesting your painting will be. Some dancing, some singing. I'm already starting to like this painting way better. Just going in with some light blue. And this is, I've gone from a very coarse brush to a very soft nylon brush now. I'm holding the paintbrush very loosely just to get some more interesting marks. Just the very tip of the brush. And you can see how many different colors or variation of color that I got with just those two colors. All I've used so far is that yellow and blue. And white, of course. This is a very, very old brush. One of my brushes that I had as a kid. It's one of my favorite brushes. It holds a lot of paint and the bristles are nice and coarse. I wasn't thinking too much about my property in this painting. I already had kind of a landscapey feel going, so this was really just an emotional process of what colors felt good, what I liked already about the painting, and just emphasizing that. Doesn't seem to matter how crazy I get with the painting and how little I think about it. It always turns out with some sort of landscapey or floral feeling to it. And you'll find that too. It's the things that you enjoy most are probably going to be reflected in your painting, even if you're not trying. I love being outside, looking at flowers, looking at birds, just being in nature. You'll see that I dance a lot in this video. And before I even start painting, I like to put music on and dance beforehand to just loosen myself up and get the energy flowing, and just so that I feel good before I start painting. It gets you excited to start. And it gets you out of your head so you're not thinking so much. Only about 3 more minutes left of this video, and I'm starting to just get a little bit nitpicky about what I'm doing. So I'm taking a step back to see what's going on with the painting and what I should do next. It's at this point that if I start to feel like I'm nitpicking and I really don't know what to do, that I'll probably stop painting. If I keep going, I'll get frustrated and I'll lose all the progress that I made that day. I'll probably end up making a muddy mess. So it's better to just paint for short periods of time. I've found for myself anyways that that's the best way to handle it. Small painting sessions, short painting sessions over a few days. After I finish today, I'll probably put another layer on it tomorrow or give it a few days to rest and see what I like about the painting before putting another layer on. So I decided that the last thing I'm going to do is add some more contrast. Contrast in the painting is going to direct your eye around the piece. Your eye automatically goes to the area with the most contrast. So I'm not going to use straight black. I'm going to mix that in to some blue because I want to keep it feeling more natural, and it's not very often that you see straight black in nature. I'm just adding that to the dark spots already, and having that layer of a slightly different color on top of that blue will also add interest to the viewer when they come up closer to the painting. Just making some other areas darker. That'll bring your eye all the way over to the edge of the painting. A little bit more interest and variation to that mark. And then at the very bottom, the very high contrast there because it's on that light greeny yellow, but it'll bring your eye all the way down to the bottom. And then drawing with paint, which is that process that I talked about before. Yeah, thinking way too hard. So I decide, that's it, I'm done. I'm happy with that, and the areas that I think maybe I'll want to work on next time are still wet. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to make more. So I will see you again. Bye.